welcome to the Fut-Afrique channel. Brian Mofokeng is the name, joined by Sizwe, Gerard, as well as Shane. You know, off air, we're just talking about this. Shane, let's start with you. Which song do you like when you go to the stadium? You just want a drum beat and a vuvuzela, so what did you like?
I don't like any of them.
You just want to quiet?
I just want to quiet shut the play and concentrate on the game. To be very
honest.
honest.
My word. My word. Cherere, nyazi wena by the time ufika la bese besacula yini iyole orini.
There's plenty. You get confused.
Yeah.
Because you get a branch from Bloemfontein, a branch from Northwest, a branch from Durban.
Yeah.
They all come with their old songs that put you in. So, mamela konke. Anytime they on that day, ngiyoshayi net.
Uba composer le ngoma lezi because unobuzo nje stadium sekusebune entsha kungena Fanatical.
No, but you know, for instance, the one I liked when I first started, Bloemfontein Celtic fans. Yeah. It made sense. It's a war cry. You know, so block the side, we killing our enemy type thing.
Yeah.
War cry, makes sense. And then years later, one of my favorites was Siwelele. What's that got to do with football? But it's a popular song. Like, the score's 2-2, we're waiting for when it's dramatic times and we start singing about no.
Who's no, by the way?
I don't know who no is. No. No.
I've got to say, my favorite one, Tiba Kamo is always going to be.
Yeah, that's a war cry.
The one that I loved was when they went Siwelele. Siwelele, wana wabatu. That thing, goosebumps. You'll hear the whole stadium vibrate when Siwelele fans do that.
But Brian, I want to differ with you on that one.
Yeah.
For me, it's like Siwelele.
That's the original. Masele, Siwe.
Join us now.
You know what the best one was? The Amazulu one in the old days. When you used to go there and Usutwe, that was the best. When you go there, we went there as Rangers. It's already intimidating. Because the guys are going mad and the fans are jumping up and down. That was brilliant for me.
Nowadays, when you go to London Stadium,
nowadays,
there are few that actually comes up. I know that there's always the original Buccaneer song that comes up, but every time the stadium buzzes, Tito song comes up.
Yeah.
The entire stadium comes to a standstill when Tito is literally on his element and doing what he's got to do. But this past weekend, Sizwe, you covered the game on SABC, at the Toyota Free State Stadium.
Yeah.
Marumo Kala and Siwelele. They call him now Marumo Kala Siwelele.
Yeah, I've got a problem with that Siwelele. Look, it's Marumo Kala and but the Siwelele part sort of...
They're linking themselves as Bloemfontein Celtic fans because you saw them and they came with their green and white.
I have no problem with that.
Let's talk about the atmosphere.
It's Bloemfontein, but... We saw it with the Bafana game.
Yeah.
Bloemfontein, they love their football. I'm from the Free State, Valcom, not too far from Bloemfontein. And my first year...
You're very far from Bloemfontein.
My first year studying, right? I was in Joburg. So a friend of mine, one of my best friends, went to go visit his brother who studied in Bloemfontein. And Celtic that year were in '98, were in the first division. And he says on a Sunday, guys are sitting around having a beer. And at 3 o'clock, they were like, hey, let's go to the stadium. And they all got up and went to the stadium to go watch Celtic play first division.
Yeah.
Not PSL, first division. So they still love their football in Bloemfontein. You see, so it's Bloemfontein. Yeah, give them football, they'll do that.
But I think that's what needs to happen around the country. If you go to the Eastern Cape, cheaper fans will support another team, but cheaper becomes their priority. I mean, another song talking about songs at stadium, Aspelelang. No, the one that...
Oh, yeah, that's deep. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
You must hear that in Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. Set to Kashi. When it's a very close stadium, when they sing that song, so to cheaper.
But you know, Brian, the big problem here is that teams don't play every game at the same stadium.
True.
You know, if you look at Chipper, they're using London, they're using Kolkata. So you can't be doing that. I mean, you should set your base and use that no matter what and stay. I understand with Bloemfontein. I know what's going on. It's very clever marketing, very clever on that aspect of it. The people from Bloemfontein are starved of football. So whether they're going to still be again there at the end of the season, who knows? I mean, you know, us football fans in South Africa, result driven.
Yeah. Entertainment, also what entertainment.
In addition, I would give credit to Botha.
Yeah.
Botha.
Bottom
Because he doesn't mind if there is no team in Bloemfontein, but he shows the passion of football as a fan. I mean, he travels the whole country. He travels the whole continent for Bafana. So it shows that it's unfortunate because you don't have teams that are stable. You look at English football, you know. English football, when you talk about Liverpool, you're talking about people that are staying in Liverpool, supporting Liverpool. You talk about Everton, which is next door. People that are in Everton, they're supporting Everton. So here we just like scattered. You know,
but also, I mean, just to before you can go, Caesar.
In fact, I was going to say, just in praising Botha, there's a point when I think we're still trying to come out of that point where we have fans at the stadium. Like we're loving what we saw in Bloemfontein. That's why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
We love Bafana struggling to get fans. We're talking about it now. Bloemfontein in Orlando Stadium. Botha was there when at its worst point. When we had our lowest number of supporters at the stadium. And he wasn't just a Celtic fan, he was a South African football fan. Yes, we know he's a Celtic supporter. But when it comes to being a fan, he went to all the games. When there was 100 people in the stadium, Potter's there. That's why we could see him at the stadium. So we know him now. Now the numbers are coming back. He's done his job, but he's still doing his job. But we have to praise him because he was there at its worst point. When we started commentating, Brian, you know how tough that was.
One of the shows we have is Mzansi Fundis here on the Fut-Afrique channel. And I tell you, I had a chat with the guys. They tell you there are certain places you need to be for you to catch the camera.
Yeah.
And if you're not part of the crew, you get beaten up for being there. I'm joking. Now, let's get to the football side of things. I mean, it was long overdue.
Back to Bloemfontein. Back to Bloemfontein.
Yeah, no.
That's where it all starts.
We had to wait the first game, Royal AM against Cape Town City. I mean, Mjerere, last week when we spoke about how Cape Town City, as a team, how well they played against Pirates over 2 legs. And they came up against Royal AM team that still unable to sign players, by the way. And they were held.
You know, what worries me with Eric on that day, sometimes you don't just look at the book and say, this is what I'm going to be up against.
Yeah.
Now you see Mpisane, the chairman of Royal AM in the starting lineup.
And what a corner he played in. Nobody attacked the ball. Really? I thought it would have been a beautiful goal.
I mean, that's where, as a coach, you need to stamp your authority to your players to say, like it or not, there's no way we're going to compete against this person. We need to get the 3 points. But what happened?
It's disrespect.
I mean, that's disrespect, honestly speaking. You know, really, for me, to see Mpisane, I was trying to catch him the whole first half, yes, a set piece. But when Real AM is playing the game, they don't even pass him the ball. they don't pass him the ball. He's just like in a second.
He takes the corners. Otherwise, he's not going to touch the ball.
In a set piece, and then you can see after hitting the ball, and you know.
So they play the 10 players basically.
But now they go and draw with Cape Town City.
This is my issue with many teams. That for me, Cape Town City is one of them. Good enough to compete. Really compete. Like on their day, they can beat anyone.
Yeah.
Even Sundowns, even Chiefs, Pirates, anyone they can challenge.
You saw how they beat Sundowns on the last day.
My issue is when they're not playing those big teams, then
that's the
they're
problem.
not the same.
No, the form is not the same. They're not
the big
consistent
teams, you respect them, you fear them. And then when they come up against the Royal AM, it's not the same team we saw last week. That's my issue with
So what you're trying to say is Royal AM are not a big team?
No.
Okay, I'm just checking. I'm just checking.
It's because of the problem they are going through.
But it's
the leverage of signing players.
But still,
they cannot beef up.
The point is, Cape Town City needs to be consistent. It doesn't matter who you play against. Play with the same intensity, the same drive, same approach to the game. And they don't bring it every game for me.
Yeah, but
talk about Pirates as well.
But I think it's the same situation that you find with players' mentality sometimes. As a coach, from a coaching point of view, Jerry and Shane, you're coaches. How do you therefore try and maximize what you get out of the players when they start choosing matches on when to perform? Or is it a coaching thing? Or is it a player thing?
He got you the answer. in the change room before the game. Yeah. There's your inspiration. But guys, we can't do they're playing.
Exactly.
Guys playing to know that. That's one source of inspiration.
Yeah.
That's where coaching comes in.
So somebody missed it.
They all missed it.
I just tell them, if ever you don't win this game, I'm gonna find every one of you.
They still have it.
But because sometimes you can give the coaching part, the attitude of the players going inside the field gets to be different. He looks at this Mpisane, no, when I'm not playing for Cape Town City anymore, can you sign me in your team? That's an opponent that you need to be competing against, but now you're talking like you want him to bring you to the team, the champion of the team. Really, for me, Cape Town City were disappointing. Take, for instance, what they did against Orlando Pirates in the MTN 8. Yeah. And then they go to a team that is struggling, honestly.
But it's a South African thing. Yeah, it really is a South African thing.
I'm worried with Pirates somehow. Sometimes it does happen.
Yeah, because exactly. That's what cost Pirates a lot of last year, because they played against the big teams, they played well, and smaller teams they struggled. And that I don't know what it is and why people are like that. Why you need to be motivated more. Yeah. For me. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, Jerry. We wanted to score as many goals as we could when you play teams like that. You want to win more. You want to put them under pressure. But today's guys, it's just, we only playing them. It's fine. Don't worry about
it. You now move from that game, all right? Done and dusted. 1-1 the final score. Prince Tuetsa scores his first Premiership goal. And also Motebang Sera. He's always been that guy. Motebang Sera, from the days of the SLT.
Yes.
To moving across, always been that guy that literally delivers. I mean, one of the best exports from a Lesotho point of view into South Africa. We go now to the game that everybody wanted to see what's going to happen.
Yes.
Sold out signs were up very early to say Chiefs going to play. You know what is very interesting? This is the same venue where Young Africans won Chiefs 4-0 in a preseason. And you see the signs, sold out signs. Let's talk about those fans. I mean,
firstly, big up to Chiefs fans.
Crazy.
I have to say this. Crazy. Maybe in the Free State as well. Maybe it's a Free State thing, but I don't know if they could do the same in Joburg. But big up to Chiefs fans in the Free State, because in preseason for them to sell out.
Yeah.
In preseason, the way they did against Yanga. Hey, nice. And then they lose 4. Then you think, they're going to come again. And here we are starting the new season, and they came. So big up to them.
But you know what it's about? It's about the Chiefs fans looking to see where we are. Are we progressing? What's happening? We'll see what happens as we go along. You know, if Chiefs are successful, you're going to get those crowds back again. But if they're not, as I said, it's a typical South African thing. The supporters just don't come to the stadium. Talking about the game, the jury's still out. I said to you guys all the beginning of the year, just Chiefs, give them their due. They brought players in, they're doing well. Let's see what happens. Give them time. This coach, and he's come out and said, he's been honest, give us time. But how much time? That's the thing. Chiefs have been unsuccessful for how long? They want success.
10 years it is. It's 10th year now. They've been won the league since 2014-15 season. Jared, let's talk about this. On a field of play like chalk and cheese, you had this very aging Marumo Gallants team versus a very young Chiefs players. I mean, the average age was just about 26 years.
Yeah.
That is the youngest age since 2010-11 season. What do you make of that?
That's a good thing. You always give credit to the coach. Because he really knows what he wants. It's not about maybe looking at the players like what Dance is doing with the overage players at Marumo Gallants, and not even introducing youngsters that you will see taking the team somewhere or further in that regard. Because these guys, some of them behavior-wise, as an overage player, you normally take it from home, you bring it to the field. And when you've got a problem there, nobody can tell you. Nobody can get into you and say, leave your family problems because you are in the field, you are old. It touches you because you cannot just leave those things. So that's my worry in that regard. But for Chiefs, with the start, I spoke about Mtutuzi, not Mtutuzi Shabalala, Vilagazi, Mfundo Vilagazi. I spoke about him to say I wasn't happy when they lost 4-0 to Yanga because of his showboating. I spoke about him. But now I thought maybe the boy was going to be put aside, go back to the development, go get the good coaching. But he took him to his wings. I mean, he coached him and That's why I give a big credit to Coach Nange because of what he's Nabi, because of what he's done with these youngsters.
Yeah.
Look at Tutuzi Chabalala. He cried.
Yeah.
Can we
that was a nice moment. That was a nice moment.
Can we pause it there? We'll come back on the other side of this and just wrap it all up.
Okay.
Welcome back, and we continue the conversation. Shane, I mean, Jerry was just talking about the Chiefs team, Sizwe.
The youngsters.
The youngsters, the Chiefs.
And we're talking about the older statesmen.
In Marumo Gallants,
and they played well, by the way. They competed well, and it was an even game for a lot of the time. But in talking about the youngsters and Chiefs and highlighting how well they did, yes, big moments, big goals.
Yeah.
Huge moments, and I'm happy for the youngsters. When the one young man cried, I felt for him. It was a touching moment to score that type of goal at that type of venue, the first game of the season, and everyone's watching. Great moment, he'll remember that for the rest of his life. But where did that ball come from? Sereno. Yeah. Second goal the youngster scores, when that move starts, where does it come from?
No, Sereno was unbelievable.
So Sereno is what, 33 or so?
Yeah.
The most consistent player right through that game for me at Kaizer Chiefs was Sereno.
But I believe Sereno is cross.
It's cross.
Because Bradley got it.
Exactly.
Which is why I was shocked. I mean, the other guys, I'm not saying they didn't play well, right?
Yeah.
Maybe 5 minutes pause here and there. And Sereno consistently through the game. I don't know what you guys think about it. He was the driving force for Kaizer Chiefs creatively and otherwise. Set pieces, he was the most dangerous player on the field by far.
But it was a weekend.
He must lower his temper. He must lower his temper.
Oh, yes.
You know the
there was a moment where
he
actually went on a tackle. And before Mulangwan eventually was red carded, there was that moment.
Here's the thing. Mulangwan hit him with the spike too, right?
Yeah.
And Sereno, look.
Wrestling.
Sereno, as for a skillful type of player and a check-minded player, for me, I like that.
Yeah.
Where, look, you can't even, what do you mean you spike to me and it's okay? No, it's not
Baba,
okay.
but that's
football, Baba.
No, it's not okay.
Football.
It's not okay. I don't know if you're having a mental victory, a small victory, a big victory. No.
You got to have that fight.
He's a winner. He's a winner.
You got to have that fight.
So now you wanna say he was right by doing the wrestling to Mulongwan?
The attitude for him to say, I won't even let you have the smallest victory of a spy 2. That little victory. I won't let you have it and just walk away and think it's okay.
Yeah, Jerry,
no, so you're gonna kick me?
Yeah.
You're gonna fight me?
Yes.
Oh, please.
No, it just shows you he's got a bit of fight in him. And that he's now showing you that if you kick me, you're going to get it back. So
still, Shane,
there's ways and means of doing it. But
after that incident, he was the one charging to the referee to tell the referee, give Mulongwan a red card.
Yes.
He was the first Chiefs player to go in front there and then you have a tussle with the referee.
If the referee does not give a caution for whatever incident on a field of play, you can't blame the player for taking their life, because players always want to take their chances with the referee. And if they find you sleeping, they really want to take you to cleaners and get things happening. But let's move on. Let's move on now. When you talk about players that actually had an impact on debut, there are a few of those. Ikram Reyners as Sundowns. You talk about there is Keegan Allen at Richards Bay. He scored the winner for them. Bradley Cross got himself man of the match. Andy Boyoeli was unbelievable also for Skukudu United. When you talk about all of those and you move into new teams, let's talk about the impact of Ikram Reyners at Sundowns now.
I wondered when Reyners moved to Sundowns. I was one of those to vocalize it. When speaking to just guys and so on, generally, that it's going to fit into their style of play. Where we put ball down and we play. Is he that type of player?
Yeah.
Then I think, are they going to play to his strengths? And I think Sundowns
I said the same thing.
Is where they're clever. They play into his strengths.
Yeah.
We're not going to ask him to do what Zwane does, but we'll get Zwane in them to bring out what he does. And with him, put the ball in front of him 10 meters and say, run. He'll destroy you. And that's where his strengths are. And they're able to create those moments for him. So,
but you see, they're also very clever because they didn't play him up front as a striker.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So they played him wider, gave him the opportunity to run. So when he first went there, I said, look, I don't think he's the right fit because if you're going to play as a striker, Sundowns don't play that type of football. But playing as a wide player, you can use him in that aspect. So,
another key thing that when you talk about this, let's talk about what is happening at Sundowns. Key players rested, and the coach coming up to saying, if you're not going to deliver for me, and literally use the rubbish word in a press conference, I was like, wow.
Wake up call.
And he literally had to stamp his authority to say,
wake up call.
I'm the man in charge.
Is it resting players?
No, but he did mention those players who were not or performed below par, will not be fielded, and he did exactly that.
My point here is it resting players or him stamping his authority?
It is
saying,
more authority.
If you guys don't wake up,
call.
you're not going to play.
Wake up call.
I mean, Mado hasn't even made the squad, you know, so what's he saying to him? It don't matter if you play in the
Mukwena
national
as well
team,
as
I don't
another
if you do
player.
whatever. I'm in charge. If you're not going to work and play for me, you're going to sit out.
Look at
And
this.
it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing.
Play for Bafana doesn't necessarily mean you play on the start.
Exactly.
For Sundowns.
Yeah.
Murena starts Bafana, or plays Bafana, he starts Sundowns. So he's saying already, I've got no problem with Murena. And now you can do the maths. Who else played for Bafana and didn't start? So we know who has to pick up their socks. They come in the 60th minute in a game that's very even. And then they just
Lift the
take it
game.
out. Message at home. It was a wake-up call. The message at home. That's great
But
coaching.
that is great coaching because you know what? No player deserves to be playing at any given time. No matter who you are, even if it's Haaland overseas, you not deserve to be playing. If you're not putting the work in, you mustn't play. It's as simple as that.
The return of Ronan Williams at Sundowns. I mean, the two matches he featured in, they've won convincingly, 4-0 and 2-0 in those two matches. Prior to that, the defense didn't really look that solid.
They couldn't even play out from the back
Yeah.
in the MTN8 matches. Now they can again.
But that's the difference. I mean, that's the type of player he is. You'll bring that into the game where he's good with his feet. It's the new goalkeeper where you're actually another defender and you can be utilised that way. And he brings confidence and calm to the back as well, and that makes a big difference. You know, when you got a goalkeeper that you're confident in, it's a lot easier, especially for the defenders. So
Consistency.
consistency.
I just want to talk about consistency. I'm sorry for that because you look at when he was in there.
Yeah.
They played, I think, is it 3 games?
Yeah.
Quarterfinal.
Yeah.
MTN 8
Dennis
to
Onyango, and then
semifinals.
eventually they brought in February. Was it February in the other matches?
And then in
Jody February.
in those 3 games, they conceded how many? 2 goals
Yeah.
against Stellenbosch
Yeah.
because he wasn't there. They were not also scoring. They never scored even a single goal because against Polokwane City, it was an own goal.
Yeah.
So now he comes there. What difference is he making? Because now it gets to be the different Sundowns team in terms of the approach. Players. I think he's got this value of himself maybe being responsible.
Yeah.
You know.
I jokingly, as I was commentating the game of Sundowns Super Sport on radio the other day, working with Morgan Gold, jokingly I said, no, he's the Beckenbauer of goalkeepers. Because Franz Beckenbauer, central defender, famous for being a central defender that dictates play.
Yeah.
As a central defender, here's a goalkeeper that's now playing outside the center circle for a quarter of the game. Not outside the box, outside the center circle.
Yeah.
And he's helping creatively with the forward passes between the lines. That's unheard of, man.
Doing that and not even conceding goals.
Yeah, but outside there.
But also the skill he showed to skin one of the players, left one player dead in the penalty area as well. Let's move to your team, Jerere. Things are looking good at Pirates at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, really. But
I even saw when you walked in, you're gloating a bit today. There's that extra spring that comes up.
I wanted to go outside there, you know, when they played cheaper, to go beyond the queue with the supporters, buy a ticket and go inside and watch the game. Because it's so interesting. It doesn't matter if I'm a legend in that team. So if there is no access that I can get, I need to make my own effort because I love the way they play. You know, it's so encouraging.
What is a different thing? What is it that is different about this Pirates team compared to the Pirates you've seen in the last 2-3 years that has been, last 3-4 years, let's say?
Is it fair to say they've been improving?
They have been improving.
Season's different.
Yeah.
They play as a unit.
They have been
unit.
My
Third
thing
year
is,
now,
my thing is, like we were talking about this earlier, is playing the big teams, they always perform very well. But when it comes to the smaller teams, they seem to struggle. And that's where they've got to be more consistent. And that's where it's cost them over the last year or two. Is they're not consistent against the smaller sides. And they need to be doing that. The effort needs to be doubled and needs to be like you playing a Sundowns, like you playing I was going to say Chiefs, but like you playing, you know, a Stellies or one of those
I
teams.
didn't see that one coming.
But no. That was in previous season. I'm talking this year might be a bit different. So let's hope. You know what? A good Chiefs team is good for the league. Simple as that.
Let's put it this way: the Paris fans are also helping with the games against the smaller teams, the home games at least. Then now with the fans packing up the stadium the way they are. Yeah, it gives you something to play for as a Paris fan.
Okay, let's quickly round this one down here. We've got Golden Arrows against Marumo Gallants. Arrows fresh from winning against Stellenbosch FC. Who do you see winning that one?
Arrows.
Right.
Very quick.
Magesi Polokwane City, another derby in Limpopo. Polokwane City?
Draw.
You say draw. Okay. Let's go now. Super Sport United versus Royal AM.
Draw.
Super Sport.
Draw.
Shane says draw. Cheaper United, Richards Bay.
Richards Bay.
Cheaper.
I'm going to go draw again.
We're going to go draw again.
Cheaper.
Draw again.
I go with cheaper.
Okay, we have South African teams in action. We all know that Kukuni is the only one that lost over this weekend, by the way. When you talk about South African teams that are involved in CAF Confederation and CAF Champions League. The Buccaneers in action for their return again, joining Galaxy. Good luck for them. Mamelodi Sundowns will be hosting, as they hosted last week, Mabane Swallows in their return leg of the CAF Champions League preliminary round at Lucas Moripe Stadium.
So
looking forward to that one there after winning 4-0 in their first game. And it was Stellenbosch FC in action against AS Vita Club, whom they defeated. You know, it was a good result for Stellenbosch Football Club. And the last one, the only team that lost, Kukuni United, in action against a team from Angola. Can they come back? That's the big question. We'll be able to see exactly how that one is going to go. But at the end of the day, that's all the time we have for today. We'll catch up with you for more of the action. Mr. Click, you can bang it out. Jerere.
Goeienacht.
I didn't say Jerere doing this salute thing.
Now it's respect.
Pinda. Azia Pinda.
Yeah. Goodbye to the director. We'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys.
I saw a cherry and it was red.